Good morning. Today is Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. This is the Urban Hope Refuge Morning Devotions. We are continuing our reading today from the 2025 Daily Bible Reading Guide published by the American Bible Society. Before I go into our theme, I want to share with our listening and viewing audience that I am sitting in today for Mother Christina Green, who is a very, very faithful supporter and contributor to the morning devotions. I am asking prayer for her today as she is in the St. Francis Hospital in Hartford, Connecticut. Mother Green, we got your back in prayer, as I also need some backs in prayer myself. But God is faithful. We are reading under the theme, God's Strengthening Word, Pursuring Faith and Justice. Today, I am reading from Numbers chapter 36, verses 1 through 13 in the New Living Translation. And the sub-theme is a continuation of yesterday, women who inherit property. Numbers 36 tells the story, as we started yesterday, tells the story of Zelophehad, Mahela, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah. So yesterday in chapter 27 of Numbers, these five daughters partitioned Moses because their father had died without sons, if you recall, and they wanted the right to inherit their father's land when they came into the promised land because they were almost there, right on the edge. So God affirmed their request, establishing a precedent for inheritance rights for daughters. And that brings us up to where we are today in skipping over from chapter 27 to chapter 36, verse 1. Then the heads of the clans of Gilead, descendants of Machir, son of Manasseh, son of Joseph, came to Moses and the family leaders of Israel with a petition. They said, Sir, the Lord instructed you to divide the land by sacred lot among the people of Israel. You were told by the Lord to give the grant of land owned by our brother Zelophehad to his daughters. But if they marry men from another tribe, their grants of land will go with them to the tribe in which they marry. In this way, the total area of our tribal land will be reduced. Then, when the year of Jubilee comes, their portion of land will be added to that of the new tribe, causing it to be lost forever to our ancestral tribe. So Moses gave the Israelites this command from the Lord. The claim of the men of the tribe of Joseph is legitimate. This is what the Lord commands concerning the daughters of Zelophehad. Let them marry anyone they like, as long as it is within their own ancestral tribe. None of the territorial land may pass from tribe to tribe, for all the land given to each tribe must remain within the tribe to which it was first allotted. The daughters throughout the tribes of Israel who are in line to inherit property must marry within their tribe so that all the Israelites will keep their ancestral property. No grant of land may pass from one tribe to another. Each tribe of Israel must keep its own allotted portion of land. The daughters of Zelophehad did as the Lord commanded Moses. Mahlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah all married cousins on their father's side. They married into the clans of Manasseh, son of Joseph. Thus, their inheritance of land remained within their ancestral tribe. These are the commands and regulations that the Lord gave to the people of Israel through Moses while they were camped on the plains of Moab beside the Jordan River across from Jericho. And this concludes our reading for today of Numbers 36, verses 1 through 13. You can see the relationship between peace and justice in Numbers 36, 1 through 13. And you can see that it runs deep. And that's what I want to talk about for the next few minutes. So let's explore how peace, shalom, and justice, mishpat, are intertwined in this passage, and what peace and justice intertwined reveals about God's character and God's community order. God is a God of order. He said that he was, and in everything that he does, you can see that order. So as we look at the stage, Numbers 36 deals with a potential conflict of interest. Now, in chapter 27, yesterday, Moses, by going to God with the request of the daughters of Zelophehad, had resolved that issue. Now, in chapter 36, once they have experienced that law that was put into place, there is a potential conflict of interest. So the daughters of Zelophehad had justly received the right to inherit their land. That was the justice. Our theme is pursuing justice and peace. So they had now received the right to inherit their land. That was the justice that they received. The leaders of Manasseh worried that if these daughters married outside of their tribe, their land would transfer to another tribe, bringing about an imbalance of land allotments of the original law. That was the potential loss of peace. Once there was an imbalance in land, they were going to lose land with the marriage of these daughters. So Moses was guided by God. Listen, in chapter 26, Moses did not make independent political decisions. In chapter 27, it said that Moses went to God and God told him what to do. Now here in chapter 36, with this potential conflict that will bring an imbalance and lack of peace, Moses again is guided by God, and he gives the instructions that preserves both justice and peace. You've heard the slogans in today's campaigns for justice: no justice, no peace. But Moses, by the guidance of God, gave him a solution that would bring about justice and peace. So they were told that God told Moses to let them know they could marry whomever they wished. But there was one stipulation, that they must marry within their own tribe. And this decision satisfied both sides, keeping justice intact and restoring community peace. Number two, justice, mispat, means doing what is right. Justice in this passage involves fairness. The daughters retain their God given inheritance, their rights are upheld. There is faithfulness to divine order. God's design for the tribal inheritance and land distribution remains unbroken, because where there is faithfulness to divine order, then God brings about that balance. This shows that biblical justice, please hear me, and I'm getting excited and I'm getting ready to get in trouble with the shortness of breath, but this word just excites me so much. But the biblical justice is relational, is not just legal. Biblical justice is relational, not just legal. It ensures that everyone receives what is due without harming others' rightful place. My God, God is such an awesome God of wisdom that He could bring that about. Listen, God's justice is not rigid or punitive, it's restorative. It seeks to make relationships right and to sustain the community. All the confusion and chaos in our world today is because of the absence of relationships. Peace, shalom, means living in wholeness and harmony. All the parties are made whole, so they live in harmony. Peace in Scripture, which is shalom, is more than the absence of conflict. Peace is in Scripture is more than the absence of conflict. You got to go a step further. It means wholeness, it means stability, and it means a right relationship among the people and with God. By resolving this inheritance dilemma fairly, the tribes could enter the promised land without rivalry with each other and without resentment for each other, because they're getting ready to go on into Canaan now. They're at the edge of the Jordan River and they're ready to cross over into the land that God had promised them through this covenant relationships. So families could live in trust and cooperation rather than suspicion and jealousy of one another. So peace in Numbers 36 is not a passive claim. It's a fruit of justice that's properly applied. Then there is a relationship between peace and justice. In Numbers 36, peace and justice are mutually reinforcing one another. Justice ensures fairness and righteousness, and it prevents disorder. Now, peace is the outcome when justice is honored. The slogan of today, which needs a fuller meaning to the people is without justice, peace cannot last. Without peace, justice cannot be fully experienced. My time is up. God's instruction through Moses produces both justice for the daughters, they keep their inheritance, peace for the tribe, their line allotment remains intact. And as I close, this balance reflects God's character. He is both just and peace loving. And he says in Isaiah 9 and 7 and in Psalm 85:10, righteousness and peace kiss each other. And those very same principles apply to us today. Now, I challenge you to pray your way through the day, walk with the King, and be a blessing.